What happens if by the age of 30 you still haven't built a relationship, have never been married or divorced, never wanted children, realized you no longer want to live in the place where you were born, yet still haven't found where you truly belong? What happens when you become an immigrant, talented in many things, but never start your own business? When you quit your job because deep down you know you were made for something bigger. I don't know yet because I just quit, and I guess we're about to find out together. I'm Yara. I'm 29 years old, and everything you just heard is about me. And since I haven't found a handbook or instruction manual for situations like this, I thought maybe I could create one through videos like this for people who also have no idea what to do when life takes this kind of turn. I had enough courage to leave the place where I wasn't happy, but I'm still learning how to find the courage to move toward the life I actually want. So let's start from the beginning.
Know your love is a light in the dark. Oh, your love is a light in my heart. Oh, your love is a light in me. Oh, your love is a light in me. Oh, your love is a peace in the pain. Oh, your love is a calm like the rain. Oh, your love is a light in me. Oh, your love is a light in me.
Of course, I had no idea what exactly these videos would be about or how to make them, but I decided that each video would carry one important thing. And in this one, I want to share what I believe is the very first step people are expected to take after quitting their job. Let's start with the normal, familiar, socially approved resignation scenario. Step 1, the most obvious one, is to ask for a raise. And honestly, it's a usual step for people climbing the corporate ladder, or for those whose real issue actually is the salary. But for some people, it's more of a trap. Because when your soul simply doesn't want to stay confined, money stops being the real reason to leave. And suddenly, a raise becomes the reason to stay. Convince yourself, maybe just a little longer. That's exactly what I did. I got the raise and I stayed stuck for another 6 months. Naturally, I soon moved on the step 2 of the ideal resignation process, finding a new job before quitting. Apparently, that's what people usually do. Find something new first, then leave. Honestly, that concept never fully fit into my mind. I've always believed you need to create a space before something new can enter your life. To me, looking for a new job while staying in the old one feels like looking for a new person while still being in a relationship. Although, ironically, that's exactly what my exes did. LOL. Anyway, I pretended to try, but then I stopped at a line from a song by one of my favorite bands. Because quitting my job doesn't mean I want another job. What I want is to find myself. I didn't try searching for something I already knew I didn't want. Instead, I consciously moved on to the next stage, facing reality. And honestly, that part matters. Over the last 2 years, consciously and unconsciously, I did everything I could to finally put my financial life in order. And one day I realized I actually did it. I created multiple sources of income, built at least some savings, and for the first time, objectively understood I can leave. Exactly 1 year ago, I wrote my resignation letter, but I couldn't go through with it. At that time, my other income was unstable. I had no savings and I was carrying debt. And the year before that, I had already quit a job with exactly the same starting conditions. It only led me right back into the same lifestyle. A prison called 9 to 5, except sometimes this one was more like 9 to 7. Lesson learned. And once I knew I was starting differently this time, I finally quit and got the freedom I wanted so badly. Which brings us to the actual point of this video. What should you do first with your new life? I didn't understand that immediately. At first, all the postponed tasks came crashing down on me. Everything I had ignored while I worked occupied all my time. Then I made the classic perfect new life routine: early mornings, workouts, running regularly, perfect nutrition, all of it. Oh, yes. On my very first unemployed morning, I woke up under the strict supervision of my deeply self critical inner perfectionist. Thankfully, years of working on myself have actually paid off, and I noticed it almost immediately. Because instead of feeling fulfilled, I felt only overwhelming exhaustion and sleepiness. So I started looking for another answer. And that's when I realized something. The most correct first step after quitting is doing nothing. On only the second day of this newly created space in my life, I'm writing these words, and somehow I found my voice for YouTube. Turns out I do have something to say, something to share. So maybe the first task wasn't to rebuild my life immediately. Maybe it was simply to experience this beautiful dolce far niente, as Italians call it, the art of doing nothing. Doing nothing sounds incredibly appealing, but at the same time, it can feel terrifying for anyone with anxiety. What if this slowly and silently turns into laziness? What if I stop doing anything at all? That was the first thought I had. And I reached almost compulsively trying to force myself to be productive again. After a few days of silence, calm, and the ability to simply lie down and exist, I realized this wasn't what I actually wanted. I had ideas, I had energy, I had resources, as I mentioned before. It took me about a week and a half to finally finish all the accumulated tasks that had piled up from juggling 3 jobs and having no time at all. First, I started creating specific do nothing days for myself. That's how my first 3 weeks after quitting passed. By the fourth week, something inside me started to shift, a desire to actually create structure again. So I made a plan for myself. I went back to an idea I had been carrying for years. 10 years ago, then 5 years ago, then 2 years ago, but never had the courage to fully commit to. I want to try a nomadic lifestyle, and this is where my YouTube story naturally begins. I tried looking for guidance for people who had done this before, but I couldn't find stories about the beginning. I only found people who had already been doing it for years or who started it with a partner. But I'm on my own. All responsibility is on me. All initiative is on me. And right now, I'm not even looking for my people yet. So this is the path I'm going to walk along, and I'll be sharing it with you as it unfolds.